you have to hold your staff and your vendors accountable for what you agreed upon. What's happening? It's Erik J. Olson. Many times during the course of my entrepreneur career, if you will, I have agreed with someone on a particular scope of work, whether it was a vendor or with an employee. We'll come to an agreement and we'll say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And there have been many times where someone has told me, yeah, I can do that. But in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know if they can. And so going into this agreement, I would have doubts. And when they stumbled inevitably, I would give them a pass. And I wouldn't even remind them of the agreement that they said they could do it. But I think in retrospect, that's a mistake. If somebody tells you that they can do something, if somebody tells you that they will do something, and then after the fact, especially after like the deadline has passed and they haven't done it, and then they start to like basically renegotiate the scope, I think you need to really kind of like put your feet down and say, no, that's not what we agreed to. I was talking with Erik Thomas, the president of Rival Digital, our sister agency that focuses exclusively on residential HVAC contractors and HVAC marketing. And we got into this situation recently with one of our vendors where we had agreed to something, and then all of a sudden it started to change a little bit. And we said yes when we probably shouldn't have, and we learned a lesson. And the lesson is no, we should not have said yes. We should have stuck to our guns and said, no, this was the agreement, and this is what I want. And when we conceded a little bit, we didn't, we weren't happy. Put it that way. We just weren't happy, and so we ended up having to go back to the original agreement. But this happens not only with vendors, this happens with suppliers, this happens with employees, this happens with clients, right? You'll make an agreement, you think everything's cool, you have an understanding, and then all of a sudden, after the fact, usually, it starts to change. And that's where I think it's good as a business person, as an entrepreneur, to kind of hold your ground and remind them not only of what you thought they were going to do, but remind them of what they agreed to do. And that's the powerful part. It's not just what you remember, it's what you both agreed to. And this is especially powerful if it's in writing, of course, which is why you have a written contract or a written employment agreement or a written anything. You want to go back and refer to it when people's memories, just kind of fail them. They're not really sure what they agreed to. You have to remind them now, like, this is not what we agreed to. Look at the scope of work. Look at what's written down. We need to go back to what we agreed to. Now, I'm not saying never change your mind, but if you still want that thing and they now can't provide it, you need to say, no, like, we're going back to the original scope of work. This is what we agreed to. This is what we've talked about. How much more successful would you be if you could harness the experience of a group of successful business owners? If you could learn from their successes and avoid mistakes they've made in the past? Array Mentors provides the framework and the guidance to help you find your way, get you on the right path, and accelerate your journey to more money and more success. Check out the details at arraymentors.com.